Hello guys, good morning beautiful people. Today we are going to talk about keyboards and we are going to code JavaScript live. And today is a special. We are going to do a ASMR edition. I hope you like it. You can watch this video that put you to sleep. So let us begin. If you have a questions, post it and I will answer. Thank you. So let us begin. There are some interesting things I learned about keyboard. And let me tell you guys. So there are some keyboard innovation. This one, Apple Maker Xah is a great keypad, programmable, and I think it is the best one. It's about $60, I think, so you might want to check it out. And there are some great tips about why do you want to buy a programmable keypad. So the advantage is that when you have a programmable keypad, such as this one, Ultimate Hacking version 2, or oh, I forgot to show you guys my screen. So let me introduce my keyboards. This is Ultimate Hacking keyboards over here and here. And this is Glove 80 keyboard. Both of them are great. And this is SVAL board, SVAL board, data hand. This is also fantastic. I am still learning it, and when I'm ready, I will show you guys me typing on this thing. And there are YouTube videos reviews you guys can watch. Okay, so let's get back to the keyboard stuff. So this Apple Maker Xah is a great one. I think it is the best keypad. So check it out. It's programmable and mechanical switches. And why do you want to buy a programmable keypad as opposed to, for example, using AutoHotkey or the Microsoft Power Toys? The advantage of programmable keypad is that once you program your keys, your key macros, they are more robust. For example, if you use AutoHotkey or Microsoft Power Toys, then the keys may not work when you are in Shift Windows, Escape, Shift Control, Escape. So when you are in Task Manager, your keyboard macro you program in Power Toys or AutoHotkey may not work. But if you have a programmable keypad, they will work. And another example is that on Windows, if you press the Windows key plus L, that will lock your screen. And you cannot override that. But if you have a programmable keypad or programmable keyboard, then you can. So that is some of the advantages of programmable keypad. And on this page, you will see a collection of the best programmable keypads that I have found. I list them in order from the best one to the okay ones. And there are some tips about how to sharp a programmable keypad. So you want it to have internal memory. You do not want it to require internet connection for it to work, and you do not want it to require you to register an account on some website. And you do not want the keypad to require a driver software running when you are using it. For example, Razer keyboards are usually like that. And you want it to have a easy to use software. The best is those supporting VIA or QMK. Those are the best open source software. And you want mechanical key switches so that they feel good to press it. And another interesting important thing is that you want, if you have a programmable keypad that is more than 20 keys, for example, let's go over here. For example, you have a huge programmable keypad here, over 60 keys. You do not want them to be laid out in a grid fashion, because that way it's hard to find which key is located where. So instead, it's preferable to have them have different button sizes and different basically shaped irregularly, such as this one. So some buttons are large, some buttons are small, and you have gaps between sections of the buttons or between rows and columns. So that way you can press the right key by simply feeling it, and it will become muscle memory. So you do not have to even look at the keys to press them. That is a good thing. And a knob or a wheel is always good, because a knob is the most efficient way to control certain functions, such as sound volume up or down, or control brightness of your screen. There are some interesting cables I discovered. Is this one, coiled keyboard cable. This is a fantastic cable. You can check it out. And there are some other devices I bought, and I think they are good after some research. So this one is the best powered USB 3 hub. I have been using this one for 4 years. And there is the history of keyboard mechanical switches is very interesting. And here is an article that gives a short account of it from 1990s to 2000s. Cheers. The mechanical keyboard switches have an interesting history. So in the 1990s, you have mostly the Cherry MX switches. They look like that. This is the most popular. And you have the IBM buckling spring switches. This is also very well known among keyboard fans. And another very popular, very famous switch is the Topper switch. This is famously used in happy hacking keyboard. Many people love this, the feel of this switch. And occasionally you will see some switch called ALPS switch. These are also popular, especially used by Apple computer. Some keyboard enjoyers like them very much. That is the most popular keyboard switches in 1990s and year 2000s. Beginning about year 2015, the Cherry MX type of switch, their patent expired. So you have a lot of Chinese manufacturers. They created Cherry MX clones, such as Gateron switches and Kaihua Kao switch. They are Cherry MX compatible. So that means you can, any keyboard, you can also use these switches by these Chinese companies. Then beginning around year 2016, they started to have some variations. They are Cherry MX compatible, but with slight improvements, such as the Kyle box switch. And in 2019, about 2016, they begin to also have several innovative switches, completely new design. That includes the Logitech's Roma G switch. This is a complete new design from the ground up, and one of the salient points about Logitech's Roma G switch is that it has the LED light in the middle so that it can shine brighter. And there is also the China's Bloody LK optical switch. The innovation here is that the electric switch uses an optical mechanism so that it will have longer life and resistant to dust or rust. That is Bloody LK optical switch. And you have other Chinese companies making optical switch. There is this guy, Kairos Ran 22, Thomas. He is an expert on keyboard switches, and he has done a lot of reviews on these keyboard switches. So that is 2016. Then in 2019, you begin to have low-profile switches. These switches became popular. The idea of low-profile switch, which I'm using in this Glove 80 keyboard, low profile. You can see it is very thin. The point about low profile switches is that you do not have to press the key so much. You simply press it a little and it will register. It is wonderful. Then beginning around 2021, you started to have the new technology of hot swappable key switch sockets. That means you can buy such a keyboard and you can change the switches to any other switch you like without having to be a mechanical engineer. All you have to do is to pull out the switch and swap them, the new ones, in. So these hot swappable key switch sockets created a market for keyboard switches. So in 2021, it began to have an explosion of varieties of key switch types. For example, you can go to Amazon and you can search for key switch testers and you will see tens of varieties of key switch types. For example, there's raccoon switch, kangaroo switch, Telio switch, phantom switch, alias switch, lunar mare switch, limbo switch, CJ switch, Baltic switch, Creakies switch, and such as zebra switch, Cedo silent blue switch, Cedo carta switch, nude rosa silent switch, Leopard Rock Lee switch, and so on. They are wonderful because that means they give you so much choices. That concludes a short history of keyboard mechanical switches from year 1990 to year 2024. And the following is some innovative keyboards I have found in the past 2 years. It is amazing you have all these innovations in keyboard. Let's look at them. There is this one called Apple Maker, AULA-F75. This is a classic one. It provides you with a knob so you can control the sound level easily. And it is hot swappable. And another innovation they started to have in keyboards is what's called gasket structure, which is essentially a way to make the keyboard quieter. And this keyboard also supports Bluetooth to 3 or so devices, and it also supports a wireless dongle, USB, and it also supports wired in the case you prefer to not have wireless, because wireless may have connectivity issues. Another version from Apple Maker is this one called RT100. And this one has the innovation. It has two innovations. One is that it has a little mini screen, a mini display, so that this little TV can display things like time, date, temperature, your game status, or even a cute animation. The other innovation this keyboard has is a knob, a multifunctional knob. This knob also functions as four multimedia buttons, and it has LED display on it. So this is fantastic. A knob is very good to have because without a knob, for example, if you want to turn the volume up or down, you have to press the key repeatedly 4 times or so. But with the knob, you can instantaneously twist it and get what you want. So this is the Apple Maker model RT100. And notice the pink decoration. Very pretty. This keyboard is suitable for girls. The next keyboard innovation I like to show you guys is this one. You see, it is beautiful. This one is called Apple Maker Brick 87. It features this innovation where you have a drum scroll bar in front of the space bar. In fact, you have 2 of them. One to control the sound volume, the other one by default controls the brightness of the LEDs on the keyboard. And they are programmable. So you can reprogram them to do other things you want, such as scrolling or page up and down, things like that. Another very creative and fun feature of this keyboard is at the back of the keyboard, they provide this Lego block so that you can attach your favorite Lego toys on it. This keyboard is suitable for gamers and for those of you Lego lovers. Next on our menu is this very fun keyboard called Apple Maker Cedo ABM066 Alice keyboard. Alice keyboard has this Wonderland layout. So when you use an Alice keyboard, imagine yourself in a Alice Wonderland, so you can experience the fantastic dreams and creatures in our world. Plus, you also have a mini display that can show you what time it is, because time is the most important thing in the universe. And plus, of course, you have the knob wheel that allows you to control the universe of things, make them bigger or make them smaller. That should conclude the variety of fantastic new keyboards we have in this world today. At this moment, we can go on into the next topic and we can begin to code the wonderful programming language called JavaScript. If you have a question for me, feel free to type it in the chat box and I will be obliged to answer. Yesterday, I also did a podcast, and the topic for the podcast is, can you learn math via Wikipedia versus textbook? The question we want to address is whether it is efficient or is it suitable to learn mathematics on your own by reading Wikipedia, or whether it is better if you read math textbooks. So there is this podcast where you can hear some of the opinions and suggestions that is provided. You can find this article if you just search for Xah Podcast, and you can see there are several topics in the past. One of them I like to mention again is syntax design. There are about 30 minutes worth of voice recording on the very interesting topic of programming language syntax design. So let us see what are the next topic. Another topic that might be of interest to you people is Linux. This is a tutorial of Linux by command line. There are a lot of updates in the past week, so you can learn Linux hardcore, so you dive into the most efficient and the most apt way to use Linux, the free operating system, by commands in a terminal like this. Most efficient and easy to understand. At this point in time, let us do some JavaScript coding. JavaScript is a great language because JavaScript is the most popular language in the world. Among the top 3 most popular languages, they are JavaScript, Python, and C++ or Java. So let us begin to code this. the thing we want to do is to write a function that creates a map object for translating keyboard layouts. For example, let's go to the keyboard layout page here, and let's go to the ergonomic keyboard layouts. So you can see all the different keyboard layouts and their heat map. We have QWERTY, we have Dvorak, we have Comac, we have Workman, we have Asset, and many others. Let us look into their source code. This is the page, and search for .js. You can see here is the source code. So one of the most important code in this JavaScript script is key map. So given two different keyboard layout such as QWERTY and Dvorak, you want to be able to find out, given a letter such as E, what is that letter in Dvorak. So you can see the QWERTY E position in Dvorak is a dot, and the QWERTY A in Dvorak is also A. The QWERTY S position in Dvorak layout is O. So therefore, what we need is a map data structure. So you can see here is the source code. Let's copy the source code, create a new buffer, paste it here, and let's make it easy to understand by adding new line characters to this code. So this way you can see it's much easier to understand. So our goal is to create a key map like this. For example, this key map, this map object is for converting QWERTY to Dvorak. So you can see if we go to the character A, the first character in English alphabet, you can see it's not there because the QWERTY A translates to Dvorak A. It does not change. So let's look at the example of QWERTY's S. If you search for S, you can see QWERTY X translates to Dvorak O. Check. Search again, search for S, lowercase, check. So this is a map data structure in JavaScript. The map data structure is new in JavaScript in the year 2015. The map structure is similar to Python's dictionary, or Ruby's hash table, or Perl's hash table, or Emacs Lisp's hash table, or Java's map data structure. So essentially it is a collection of pairs. Each pair is a key value pair. that is fantastic. So, but to create this map is very tedious because as you can see, we have to create this character translation for every character in the key map. A better way, a very convenient way, is that if we can just create a layout such as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, for example. Let's suppose this is a new keyboard layout, and let's suppose we have another new keyboard layout. Let's say AOEI, and let's say semicolon Q J K. So given these two strings, you want to create a map like that by having a function that just take these two ASCII art. So let us do that. Save the file first. Let's name it temporarily. Let's name it xxdate. Let's name it xxdate and .javascript. Okay. So now it's JavaScript. So let's write a function. Let's use arrow function. So let's name this function create key map. So there's a question from Michael Viana. Hey Xah, what do you prefer, wooden palm rest versus resin palm rest? My favorite palm rest is bath towels because bath towels are cheap and fluffy. You can fold them so that you can create a desired thickness, and they are available anywhere. And when it's become dirty, you can throw them in a wash machine, and you'll get new as fresh as new. So that is why I think bath towels are actually the best palm rest. Now, if you buy a palm rest, a dedicated palm rest in a store, maybe it's made by wood, or maybe it's made by resin, or maybe it's made in plastic. There are varieties of palm rest for you to choose from, but usually they are much more expensive than bath towels. Each one is like $10 or $20, and they are not that much adjustable. That is why I think bath towel is the best palm rest. Okay, let's get back to JavaScript. Let's write this function. So we want to write a function, create a key map. It will take two arguments. Let's call them layout 1 and layout 2, and it should return a map object. So let's document our function. This function name is fCreateKeyMap and takes 2 arguments. Return a map object. Layout 1 is a string such as like that. And layout 2 is also a string such as like that. Return a map such as so we create a map such as A, B, C, D, and here is A, O, E, I. If the string in the argument is not the same length, return error. With this function, once we write this function, it will be much easier to create all these different layouts. So you do not have to manually create each of these pair of letters. You simply draw the ASCII art like that, and this function will create a map for you. Viana says, okay, I was searching for a palm rest and I realized that they are not compatible with low-profile keyboards because of the height. But probably bath towel's gonna work actually. Thank you. So we have written a documentation for our function, and now let's code it. This should be very easy to do. We need to return a function that return a map. So we need to declare a variable let's call it constant xResult. Okay, let's call it result map, and initial value for the map will be empty. So to create a empty map, we can simply say new map and give it a empty array. I believe we can do that, but I'm not sure. When you are not sure, you can always try it. Then you will know if it works or if it does not. So we have defined our function, and let's try it. So we are going to call fCreateKeyMap and give it 2 arguments. So the first argument is this one. Let's save it in a variable. So constant layout 1. Let's name it layout 1. And constant layout 2. Fantastic. Now we can call our function right here. And in JavaScript, of course, you need to print function by calling console log. So this is our code, and we are ready to run it. Let's do it. Run the code. Let's see what happens. We got an error. Okay, some syntax error. We can fix that easily. We probably need a return value here. And what else? Let us prettify the code. Okay, we got some errors. What is the error? So here is our function. That should be correct. And here is a variable, a constant. That is not correct, because in JavaScript the quote, double quote string cannot contain new lines. So if you want new lines in your string, you need to use template string, which is quoted by a tick character, like that. Okay, let's replace it. That's good. Let's run it. Fantastic. It seems the function worked. However, right now it is a dummy function because it doesn't do anything. Now let's make it do what it's supposed to do. Let's go back to our JavaScript in depth, and let's go to, we need to do a loop over a string. So let's go to loop. We have for loop, we have while loop, we have do while loop, we have continue and break. That is not what we need. What we want is for of loop, because for of loop allows we to loop over the string in such a way that each iteration is over a character as opposed to a code unit. This is a little bit tricky because a code unit means code unit is a fairly complicated concept, but essentially the practical issue is that if you have a emoji such as hug, then if you use for loop, this emoji character will have two indexes. So that is a problem. For example, we can show this easily by printing the length of this character. So if we run this line, it says 2, you see? So that is the complexity. You do not want that. You want to go through the string by actual characters, not the encoded code unit. Therefore, we should use for of loop like that. So for each character k or key in the iterable is going to be layout1 string. So for each one of them, we want to do push to the map x result push, and let's look up how do you add a entry in a map object. So we have create map, we have so you can see to add entry you use set map.set key value. Fantastic. So the key will be the original KK, and the value will be of the same index from layout 2, but we don't have access to the index. How do we solve that? So in that case, let's look into the detail of the for of loop. So for of loop, it sets the variable to the item of the array in our case it's a string. So if we use for of loop, we cannot access the index. So let us not use for of loop. Let us use something else. So what we can do is that we turn the layout1 string into a array. We can do that by the ... operator. That's called spread operator. It will convert a string into an array of characters. So now if we put this array here, we are looping over an array instead of string. So, but once we have an array, we can use for each. Yes. So let's go over to JavaScript reference and let's go over to array. Let's open it, go to array, then prototype. So you can use map or for each. Let's use for each. So we have array here and dot for each. Fantastic. And for each takes a function as argument. Okay, let's write a function. And this function is passed 3 arguments: the current index, the current elements, then the current index, and the array itself. Okay, so the first thing is element. The second thing is index. So let's delete the for up loop. Let's use for each. So for each item, you push to the map, takes 2 arguments. The first argument is the key. In this case, it is the item. The second argument should be an item of the same index in layout 2. So we can get that by layout 2 square bracket index. So this is in this way we populate our map. Let's prettify the code. Okay, it has some error. Let's check again. Oh yes, because we need a semicolon here, I think. Prettify the code again. Again an error. What is the error? Let's try again. Oh, it says parenthesized expression cannot contain spread operator. So our error is over here. Because in order to turn a string into an array, you need to put the whole thing in an array like that. Okay, now let's prettify our code. Fantastic, it worked. And now if we return the X result map, that should work. Fantastic. Can we try it? Yes, let's do. Run the code. Okay, error. We got some error. Let's find out. Line 35, character 16. Okay, so let's go to character 16. So it's having a problem pushing it. Oh, it's not push, it's set, because remember the map object, you need to use set to add an entry. Let's run it again. Fantastic, it seems to work. This is exactly what we wanted. Now when the characters are the same, we do not need to push it, because when they are the same, we can assume they are the same. Therefore, let's do a if check. If these two characters are the same, if they are the same, do nothing. Else, you push. Now, prettify the code. Run it. Fantastic. Now it is much cleaner. Success. So our function is successful. And that completes today's task. And we can appreciate the beauty of JavaScript and the beauty of functional programming. Livan says, "You seem much more chilled out tonight because tonight we are doing a special episode of ASMR. As you can see in the title, ASMR edition. Lovely. The world is filled with beauty. And we have been successful. Fantastic. Let us copy the code and go to talk show and post the code here. Paste it, show in browser, scroll down, beautiful. Now we press a button to make them syntax colored and go to the browser, refresh, beautiful, fantastic. We have completed today's task. How are you guys doing? Did you guys have a good time? If there is nothing else, that shall be it for today's session. And let me get a drink again. Let's have some red wine. Oh, we forgot. Now we have this code successful. We should add a new layout to this JavaScript application. For example, there is a new layout I wanted to add that would be the Hallmark layout 2016 and Pico layout I like to add to my diagram and the Ingram layout. So in order to do that, first of all, we need to type out this layout. Let's try a easy one. So the easy one would be to try the Hallmark. This Hallmark layout is supposed to be based on the latest technology of artificial intelligence. So let us try that. Meanwhile, let me get my drink. And if you have questions, post it now. What is your favorite brand of red wine? I do not drink wine much, so I do not know what is my favorite red wine. Let us see if we can quickly add this hallmark layout to our keyboard layout application. Let's go to the URL and post the URL here, make a link, go to it, show in browser, search for hallmark, and let's go to their website to see if they already have it typed up. We need the ASCII art of this layout. Let's check. Okay, they do not have a ASCII art layout, but however, they do have this code in the form of JSON, which is wonderful, but for our purposes, we will not be using it because our goal is to test our newly created function. So let us go to another layout. Let's see if they contain ASCII art. Let's go to the Ngram keyboard layout. They do have some sort of ASCII layout here, so we can try this. Fantastic. These Ngram layouts are very elaborate because they also changed the shift key and the number row, their correspondence. For example, normally on a QWERTY layout, the shifted 9 is the left parenthesis, but with the Ngram layout, it is not. So the Ngram layout is slightly complex. So in order to use the Ngram layout to test our code, we need also to have a QWERTY ASCII art, but including all the number digits and symbols. We can do that, but however, our graphical application does not support the changes in the letter row. We can still do it, but it won't show. So let's see the Ngram layout. There is another version called Ngramma, which is Ngram layout without the changes happening to the number keys. So let's go there and see if they provide an ASCII art version. They do. Fantastic. Let us try this one. So now we go back to our JavaScript. We make a backup and we pop this out, the code, and now we can try the layout. So layout 2 will be this Ngram layout. And the layout 1 will be QWERTY. And here we need a QWERTY layout ASCII art, such as QWERTY Let's see what is the most efficient way to do this. So since the number row does not change, we do not need it. And they also use capital letters and lowercase for the shifted version. We also do not need the capital case. So what we can do is to delete all capital letters in this block. We can do that in Emacs by calling query replace rejects, and we give A dash capital Z. That means replace them all. Enter by nothing. Now we can say yes, 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 yes. Fantastic. Now this shifted version of symbols we can also remove safely. Remove, 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 remove. Fantastic. Now this backspace, not backspace, this backslash in JavaScript is a special character for escape. Therefore, we need to escape it. So backspace magically becomes double backspace. Fantastic. Okay, seems now we have our layout ready almost. Not quite, because we have two spaces here. We can show, you can see two space. So replace two space by one. Do it, do it, do it. Wait. Fantastic. Now, over here, we can just type the QWERTY layout and it will complete our mission. Fantastic. In order to accelerate this job, we can try to find on the website if there is any website that already have this QWERTY ASCII art. Let's try to search and see what we find, so that we do not have to type them ourselves. If you are watching and if you feel like, feel free to type the QWERTY layout so that I can use. Thank you very much. for your potential contribution. Okay, it seems actually faster if I simply just type QWERTY myself. Okay, let us do that. To the top and choose QWERTY. Fantastic. And move this over here so we can see. And let's just type them. QWERTY. Correct. And UIO. Okay, UIOP. We do not want abbreviation expansion. UIOP, no expansion. So let's try again. UIOP, fantastic. And square bracket, wrong. Try again, correct, fantastic. And there is a backslash, don't forget. You need double backslash. Then you have ASDFG, obliged. Then you have HJKL, semicolon, apostrophe. HJKL, semicolon, apostrophe. Fantastic. Then you need ZXCV. ZXCV. Then BNM. Comma, full stop, and slash. Fantastic. It appears we have accomplished the task. Before we run the code, let's double check if we got them correct. Let us now remove the redundant spaces. Replace, query replace space by none. Yes, fantastic. Is it correct? We need to be concerned about correctness. One easy way to verify correctness is, first of all, count the number of characters. It has 37. It has 37. Correct. Now we can run the code and it should be correct. Let us run the code. Run. Fantastic. It gives us this map object, which converts the letters in the QWERTY key map layout to the whole Mac. No, not whole Mac. The Ngram. The Ngramma layout. Fantastic. So this is the result. Let us copy that, close this, save this, put it back in the browser, color it, show in browser. Fantastic. And we have the map here. Let us go to the JavaScript. Go to the JavaScript of the layout, keyboard layout JavaScript library, and we can now insert this. Let's see if it makes sense. First of all, make a backup of this TypeScript and paste it. Okay, and what you need is to say okay, this is a new map. Okay, so in order to we need to do some surgery on this data structure. So let us split the buffer, create a new buffer, paste it here, and go to JavaScript mod. And now we need to make this format into this format. First of all, let's add a line to every comma so that it becomes easy to see. Fantastic. The next job is that each of these needs to be each of these needs to be a array syntax with square brackets. The reason is because in JavaScript there is no literal expression for a map. So you need to turn this into an array of pairs of array. So first of all, for each of that, change it to comma. Fantastic. Then for each line, you need to change it to like that, okay, and remove the ending comma. So we can do that easily by, first of all, remove the beginning of empty space, then we remove the end of the comma by replace each comma new line by just new line. Okay, do it. Fantastic. Now you can call a customized command that will add square brackets to each line and use a comma at the end of the line. Do it. Fantastic. That function is called Xah. That function is called that function is not shown in here, but that function is called Xah quote lines. Okay, now do we have the correct syntax yet? No, because we need the square brackets at the outset. So remove that, copy, cut it, add the square bracket, paste it, and here we have our desired form. Okay, now cut it, close it. Now we can add it here, paste it, make it one line, and add a paren to the whole thing. Then at the beginning we need to say new map. So we paste it here, and the name of this map is in Grandma. Did we spell it correctly? Let's check. In grammar 2M, MM, and it's MMER. Fantastic. It seems we have completed the task. All we have to do now is this is TypeScript. Let us compile the code. First of all, let's try to prettify the code. Fantastic, it worked. And now let's try to compile the JavaScript. Tab Control H. So you can press Tab C to compile the file. Tab C, compile the file. It is success. Now we have added a new layout. Let us go back to the page, and now all we have to do is add a user interface, a radio button for the in grammar layout. Let us do that. Search. Let us see where is the library. Okay, the library, the actual code is not in this library because this file is actually a library. So close it. The file we need to edit is this one. So you need to add a in grammar layout here. But before we do that, you need to, let's paste it here. We need to go back to HTML and in this user interface section, we need to add, for example, let's add it after workman. Copy and paste. And the value will be in grammar. Let's check, did we spell it correctly? Okay, that's, yes, we spelled it correctly. So if we go to the browser, refresh, we can see, well, we made a mistake. We need to also change the name here. In grammar, refresh, we can see in grammar. Fantastic, it worked. Let's capitalize the letter so it looks more beautiful. Fantastic. We have just added in grammar layout, and now we can see the heat map. It is a satisfactory work. Let's see, QWERTY, Vorak, all the most frequently used letters are on the home row. Cormac also on the home row. Cormac DH, the idea is you avoid the middle columns. Fantastic. Workman is the first one to have that idea. Avoid the middle columns. Now, in grammar, fantastic. So we have completed our tasks today. Thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day, beautiful people. Good night. Fantastic coding done today. We do not even need to modify this file at all. All we have to do is to add the in grammar layout conversion map from QWERTY to in grammar. Then all we have to do is to add a radio button for the in grammar layout, and all things work fantastic. Good night.